14, Section 1 of the New York State Constitution, and it does not include the words "so help me God," which is often included in publicly administered oaths. Although I administer the oath without these words, please feel free to add "so help me God" at the end of these words if it is important to you. Now, I ask that each applicant to please raise your right hand and listen as I read the oath, and when I have completed it, you may unmute your microphone and say, "I do." Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of office of attorney and counselor at law of the State of New York to the best of your ability?
I do.
I do.
That's wonderful. Okay, you can meet yourselves again, please. Congratulations. On behalf of Presiding Justice Hector LaSalle and the entire bench of the Appellate Division's Second Department, welcome to the legal profession. This is an incredible milestone in your lives, the commencement of your legal career, and your entry into the ancient and honorable profession of law. Now, I know you are overjoyed and maybe a little overwhelmed, and that's to be expected. You have now officially embarked on one of the biggest journeys of your lives. This is the time to reflect on all that you have achieved and what you see your path leading you to. You've entered a difficult and noble profession. It regulates everything from the simple act of crossing a street to the most complex global relations with foreign nations. Attorneys and the courts have been a creative force in the growth and development of our nation since its very inception, especially strengthening and safeguarding our democratic tradition. Almost half of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were attorneys, as well as more than half of our country's presidents. Ours is a tradition steeped by both our legal giants and others who are not as well known, who have shaped the law, seeking to guarantee our right to equal education, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the rights that permit every citizen to access the courts of our nation. They're all heroes. Now, you all will be our heroes in the future. You will be the lawyers who fight for justice, the lawyers who seek hazardous products, to remove hazardous products from the market, the lawyers who work to ensure the most vulnerable among us, our children, our seniors, are protected from abuse and neglect, the lawyers who will protect housing and healthcare, and the lawyers who will seek justice for those who would otherwise be discriminated. As a profession, we have some certain core values. We value access to justice, the right of all persons, regardless of their financial circumstances, to have access to our justice system and to have the competent advice and representation of counsel. And we encourage all lawyers to provide pro bono legal services to benefit the needy and to contribute to support legal service organizations to assist those in need. I encourage each of you to do your part. We also value the independence of the legal profession and the independence of our court. Law is a self-regulating profession, but self-governance carries with it a very special responsibility. We must strictly adhere to our ethical code and the rules of professional conduct. Any failure to do so compromises the independence of the profession and the public interest it serves. The independence of our courts is critical to a truly democratic society. Some of the most autocratic countries in the world have been beautifully crafted statements of human rights, but those are just words on a page without the courts to enforce them. Lawyers have a special responsibility to protect judicial independence from improper political influence. We value the rule of law. This means we value concepts of due process and respect for civil rights and the protection of individual freedoms. Now, I urge each of you to join bar associations. There are many types. For example, the American Bar Association or our state bar, local bar association, and bar associations that are based on practice areas or affinity. Now, these bar associations all have one thing in common. They're all comprised of lawyers who band together to express their commonality with one another and to advance their legal knowledge or practice of law and to improve our communities and serve the public. The people that you meet at these different organizations will become your mentors and will be part of your professional community. They will be your colleagues. Most offer affordable continuing legal education programs and can help identify practice trends and concerns. Their strongest value, though, is in fostering relationships between its members. They help cultivate friendships and professional conducts. By joining and participating in a bar association, you will advance your own legal knowledge, develop relationships that can help you gain your very next job or client, and develop and nurture professional relationships with other attorneys that will make the practice of law less of a job and give you the opportunity to meet, know, and work cooperatively with a community of judges and lawyers beyond the four walls of your office. Now, I would like to offer you some practical advice. Growing up, my mother's instructions to me were always said, but when I left the house, remember your 6 P's. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. You cannot always expect to be the smartest person in the room, but you can promise to be the hardest working. Accept responsibility. Making excuses or blaming others is child's play. Mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. Without experiencing errors, there will be no opportunity to gain knowledge and to grow. And if you are ever in doubt whether an action is right, wrong, ethical, or unethical, make the moral choice. You will be sure to find yourself on the correct path. And if you struggle to know that path, seek advice. That's where the bar associations also come in handy. Now, I have a famous Norman Rockwell painting called The Golden Rule hanging in my chambers. It is hung to be in my line of sight as I walk into the chambers. And it's my daily reminder to follow the Golden Rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The very same traits that make you a good human being will make you a good lawyer. Please remember to enjoy the profession. Being a lawyer is challenging and it will be stressful. Be aware of the stress and proactive in managing it. Good lawyers have well-rounded lives. They enjoy spending time with family, friends, and they have hobbies, so please find your happiness. I also want to remind you that celebrating your achievement are many people who have played an important role in bringing you to this day. They have shared with you your moments of happiness and unhappiness. Many have struggled and sacrificed along with you to see you attain this goal today. Their reward is seeing your admission to the bar, so please find a special way to thank them. United States Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said, "In the end, we must trust the path we choose to walk, anchored by a firm sense of our potential, inspired by the people with whom we surround ourselves, and bolstered by a willingness to keep on. Ordinary humans can do extraordinary things. So go ahead and dream as enormously and as courageously as you can. If you are diligent and well prepared, relentlessly optimistic and resolute in purpose, you will be capable of creating a brilliant future for yourself. No matter where you began the journey or the missteps we will surely make along the way, we must press forward, guided by the blessings and strengthened by hardships, whether we are laboring quietly outside the spotlight or in full view on public stage. We are, each of us, called to write our story in the chronicle of history." Now, we wish you the best of luck and success, and I leave you with this one final word of advice. It's noted constitutional scholar who eloquently profiled the nobility of this profession that you are now a part of. "True, we build no bridges, we raise no towers, we construct no engines, we paint no pictures. There is little of that we do in which an eye of a man can see, but we smooth out difficulties, we relieve stress, we correct mistakes, we take up the burden of others, and by our efforts we make possible the peaceful life of men and women in a peaceful state." It has truly been an honor to preside over this ceremony today. Now we wish you the best of luck and success, and may each of you enjoy the blessings of good health, fortune, and the company of your loved ones in this most rewarding career and professional life. My colleagues and I will now take our leave, and I ask you to please stay on Teams meeting so that you can sign the historic roll book. And now this concludes today's ceremony. Congratulations.
Thank you, Justice